Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Astrology News Report, presented by yours truly, Ron Berger. Today is December 1st, 2019. In this segment, we'll take a look at what's happening in the zodiac for December 2019, where the planets are, where they are going, and what to expect from the developing energy patterns. Mercury was in Libra and together with its enemy Mars for most of November. After finishing its retrograde period on November 20th, Mercury gradually picked up speed, and now, in early December, Mercury is moving on in the zodiac. Mercury enters sidereal Scorpio on December 4th. This is good for Mercury because it gets away from Mars, its enemy, which is being left behind in Libra. For the next 2.5 weeks, Mercury will manifest from the venue of Scorpio, the sign of alliances, secrets, and investigation. Mercury is the planet of facts and information, therefore media and media reporting. Of course, this is going to be happening right at the time that the House Judiciary Committee will be having its first hearings for drawing up articles of impeachment for Donald Trump. Interesting, too, is that the new moon for this lunar month, which began on November 26th, was a Scorpio new moon, marking the beginning of the Hindu lunar month Margashirsha, named for Mrigasira, the lunar sign of the full moon, which will be on December 11th. Like Scorpio, Mrigasira is also connected with research and investigations. So, the lunar month, along with Mercury and Scorpio, definitely has us in Inquisition mode. Then, on December 25th, Mercury leaves Scorpio and moves into sidereal Sagittarius. Mercury then joins the mob of planets concentrated in this sign. Mercury will combine with Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius. This puts the planet of facts and information together with the planet of beliefs. In other words, beliefs contaminate facts. Mercury is the planet of making decisions. Jupiter is truth and wisdom, so perhaps we might even get some wise decisions. Mercury is the planet of ideas and information. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and optimism. The result is big ideas. Venus entered Sagittarius back on November 21st, joining Jupiter and the multi-planet combination in that sign. Venus with Jupiter is the planet of romance and pleasure together with the planet of increase, which can result in too much of a good thing. In other words, excess, indulgence, irrational optimism. Venus, as the planet of relationship and harmony, is a relatively weak planet and gets overwhelmed by the other heavy hitters occupying Sagittarius. Venus, the planet of romance, combined with Jupiter, the planet of opportunity, gives opportunity for romance. The planet of love, combined with Jupiter, planet of truth and wisdom, results in love of the truth, except that, since this is Sagittarius, a fire sign, and fire signs are egocentric, it's personal truth, not objective truth, that we are talking about. The result is personal prejudice. In other words, more partisanship, more of everyone fighting for their own version of the truth. Before leaving Sagittarius, Venus will be conjunct Saturn, exact on December 11th. Venus gives benefits to Saturn, but Saturn limits Venus. For instance, finances, a Venus signification, might be limited, but it also brings together the planet of love and harmony and young females with the planet of the established and older people, which could be good for the older folks. On December 15th, Venus moves on in the zodiac, leaving Sagittarius and entering Capricorn. In this sign, Venus is relatively free from the influence of other planets. Venus in Capricorn is the planet of relationship, agreement, and finance, in the sign of practical realization, which will have the effect of bringing everyone down to earth, we hope. Meanwhile, Mars has been transiting in sidereal Libra since November 10th. Mars continues in Libra for the first 3 weeks of December. That puts the planet of action, force, and conflict in the sign of harmony and compromise. Not exactly a good fit. The combative qualities of Mars get toned down a bit while the planet is in this sign. While in Libra, Mars has picked up some energy by being in mutual aspect with Uranus, the planet of freedom and disruption. During November, Mercury, the planet of information and media reports, was sharing the sign with Mars, which produced a lot of heated discussion and headlines during November. In the USA Astrology Chart, we see that the Mars in Libra transit places the planet of combat and controversy in the 11th house of the chart. The 11th house of a country's chart is the house of the legislature, in other words, Congress. And there's been lots of action and controversy in the U.S. Congress, specifically the House of Representatives. On December 25th, Christmas Day, Mars leaves Libra and enters Scorpio. This changes things dramatically. Mars will now be in its own sign for 6 weeks, boosting the planet of action and force, as well as the significations of Scorpio. So, more power-hungry adventures, conspiracy and intrigue, alliances, and so forth. And in the USA chart, this means that Mars will be transiting in the 12th house, a powerful and potentially nasty transit that will stimulate the significations of this sector of the nation's karma as we move into the new year. Another zodiac event that occurs on December 25th will be a new moon, which also happens to be a solar eclipse. Actually, where the eclipse is visible in southern Asia, it will already be December 26th. This will be an annular solar eclipse. In other words, the moon won't completely fill the disk of the sun. The eclipse will be at 10 degrees Sagittarius, right in there with all the other planets already crowded into that sign. A lunar month that starts out with an eclipse conjunct a bunch of planets indicates a significant time period coming up. The ancients considered eclipses to be portentous, in other words, signifying something bad coming in the near future. According to astrology analysis, the event associated with the eclipse occurs when a planet subsequently transits through the eclipse degree. In this case, Mercury will transit through 10 degrees Sagittarius on December 31st, and a couple months later, on February 22nd, Mars will transit through the eclipse degree. These dates have to be watched for a high likelihood of problematic events. For personal charts, the sector of your chart where the eclipse occurs is more vulnerable to changes coming in the near future. I'll be providing more details for each rising sign chart in an upcoming report. By the way, the Astrology News Report is now a paid subscription channel. You have been watching the once-a-month free public video. If you would like to see the next 4 weekly reports, donate $20 by clicking on or touching the donation card at the end of this video, which will take you to the donation page. If $20 for a month is too much for you, you can donate $10. Here's a list of the reports I'll be doing coming up in December. December 8th, Planets and Politics, how planetary patterns match up with what's going on in world events. December 15th, Mars in Scorpio, and the effects for each rising sign chart. December 22nd, the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and what it means for each sign. December 29th, a preview of January's planetary patterns. Okay, here's the link for making your donation. Until next week.